The two most important parts to a clinical study are the protocol and informed consent. So the protocol is a scientific document, and it explains the rationale, the population or people that are going to be studied in the trial, the specific research aims that have developed, and the specific plans to protect participants. And then the informed consent is the part that you see. You have access to seeing the protocol, but you might not want to read through the whole thing. And the informed consent describes for the participant or their parent what to expect, so exactly what's going to happen. What are you going to be asked to do? Describes what it is to be done as part of research. And this is important because, as I say on the next slide, those who participate in clinical studies receive at the minimum standard of care. So you're going to go on to receive your standard of care. So it's really important to understand, if you're going to do research, what's being done, what's the research part, what's not standard of care. And in doing so, it explains the risk. So what are the increased risks of participating in the study? So it can entail anything. It can entail questionnaires and surveys, laboratory studies, investigative studies. That can be anything from x-rays, radiology, MRIs, extra biopsies taken during a procedure. A lot of EOE studies involve that. Extra height and weight measurements. And it can also include treatments. So in this case, you might not receive the drug. You might receive a placebo versus the treatment. And that's important to understand. And in terms of what time, what does it entail? So it can be anything from just like one-time visit, one time point, one interaction just there in the clinic visit. It can involve extra visits. It can be short-term follow-up, so maybe 3 weeks, 6 weeks. It can be long-term follow-up. And that can be anywhere from 6 months, or maybe they want to know how you're doing, if you're 11, they might want to know how you're going to do when you're 25, so it might be really long-term.